Hey everybody, back with Larry McKenna lesson number 4. This lesson was on A Night in Tunisia. Now, let me just say in the outset, Larry was not a one-trick pony when it comes to improvisational concepts. However, he did give me the melodic minor in the beginning stages many times so that I would understand this concept. And this lesson that he did on A Night in Tunisia is no different. So I must have had to play this for an ensemble or something when I was a freshman, at Temple University back in 1988. So I don't know, but he gave me this tune and then, in typical Larry fashion, wrote out a couple of chords on the top with chord scales that he would use. So for example, the first chord he wrote was C9 because that's the first chord in Night in Tunisia. And then he wrote a G, jazz minor, underneath, which is a G melodic minor. So here's the chord, C9, which on the piano is an E flat 9, by the way. But he wrote this out for alto. So C9 has a natural 9, so he went to the 5th degree and played that melodic minor. And then B minor, root position, minor scale. But he uses a melodic minor, which has a raised 6 and 7. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, if you're not sure what the tune is, Night in Tunisia, it's a tune made famous by Dizzy Gillespie. That's the A section. And by the way, playing it on my Better Sax alto. Still loving it. Better Sax burning mouthpiece. All right, so here we go. This is a solo then that Larry wrote out over this tune, almost all of it. He wrote out the solo through the bridge and then stopped. But just to give me vocabulary, excuse me, that was right. And when he wrote it out with this kind of pencil, this mechanical pencil. It's so funny. I found these. This is exactly the pencil that Larry used. He had like 1,000 of them. So here you go. Here's the solo that he wrote out for A Night in Tunisia. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, so I kept playing through the form. Beautiful solo. So you see the applications there, and I've already talked about the applications of the melodic minor. But now, what would I do with this? I mean, this is great that Larry wrote this out, but what is the practical application when I left the lesson? So when I left the lesson, here's what I would do. I would extract lines. For example, look at the first line, this rest. I would look at that, I would write it out in numbers. So for example, I would use the numbers of the melodic minor scale over that C9. I wouldn't use numbers related to the C9, I would use numbers related to the G, jazz minor scale. So that would be 9, flat 9, 1, 7, 5, flat 3, 7. And that's all related to the G scale, the G jazz minor or G melodic minor scale. So I would transpose that and put it in different keys. So here's a C melodic minor scale. And I'm going up to the 9, by the way. How about I do it in F? Okay, so I would go through all 12 keys. I would think about application, Where I use this, I would practice the line. So what am I doing? I'm practicing technique. I'm doing it in different ranges. I'm doing it at different tempos. I'm thinking about how it applies harmonically, all because of this like little jazz etude, basically, that Larry wrote out. So great stuff. Notice the use of the 6 on the minor. So if you think of the tune Invitation, that tune Invitation actually has the natural 6, or the raised 6, sorry, the raised 6 in the melody. So Larry used that sound over this minor as well in Night in Tunisia. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and then look at the bridge. This is very interesting. So F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Larry does not use the melodic minors here. He actually uses natural minors. So this natural minor, this F sharp minor 7 flat 5, is actually the 2 chord in the key of E minor. E minor. So he just uses basically an E natural minor scale over that chord. To resolve it then to the third of the B7 chord. And then he outlines the dominant chord up to the flat 9, but without the root, right? So 3, 5, flat 7, flat 9, 1. Again, great line to put into different keys. I would transpose that, use it in all different kind of places. So I would do it number-wise and then put it through the circle of fourths. Okay, and then he does the same thing. All right, well, let me start with the bridge. It's the double bars at the bottom, the last 3 stabs down. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Now he just uses the jazz minor, the melodic minor scale, which has a raised 6 and 7 here. Now he does the same technique in the next chord, E minor 7 flat 5. Well, that's the 2 chord in D minor. So he uses the D natural minor here. Now the natural minor has 1 flat, right? Because it's a relative of F major. A lot of theory, I know, but it helps me. So if F is the key, F major has 1 flat, the relative minor is D, and if I just play D to D using all of those notes, it would be 1 flat, B flat, and that's what he did here. But he just ended up starting it on E instead. But that's basically an F major scale, all the notes of an F major scale, or all the notes of a D natural minor scale. And then he resolves it to the 3rd chord tone of the dominant chord. Interesting, he uses a D harmonic minor there. To now D major. Brilliant. So he's using all these scales, but what is the most important thing? Well, he's teaching me the right sounds. So the vocabulary that he's giving me are the right words, basically the right notes, and he's putting them in places that are correct, so that as I play through this and as it saturates my hearing and my inner ear, I'm understanding and I'm hearing these things all along when I'm playing over the tune. So let me do the solo one more time for you and then play a little bit, and then that's it. This Larry lesson number 4, very impactful for me, but again, uses of the melodic minor scale. there it is. Larry lesson number 4. I'll be back next week, hopefully with Larry lesson number 5. Take care.